ESPN.com insider Jeff Goodman asked a combination of 25 NBA executives, coaches, and players to rank the point guards in the NBA from 1 to 30. Take a look. Russell Westbrook tops the list, 732 points and 13 first-place votes, followed closely by Steph Curry, 727 points, 9 first-place votes. Finishing up the top 3 with Chris Paul, 652 points, 3 first-place votes. Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard rounded out top 5. Stephen A., in all honesty, I had a chance to talk with Jeff Goodman a moment ago, and he was like, it really was a toss-up between Westbrook and Curry. It was just a smidge more. So did they get it right?
I can't argue with the results on this list, to be quite honest with you. A couple of points. I do think he got it right, but a couple of points I'd like to make before I even get to Westbrook. Number one, I'm very happy to see a guy like Kyle Lowry on this top 10 list. I'm a fan because he's a pit bull. He competes. He plays on both ends of the floor. See a guy like Mike Conley in the top 7. I think he deserves it because he's consistently improved over the years, and he deserves it. And Jeff Teague, with the year Atlanta's having and what I've seen from him, very impressive. I am a fan of John Wall. I really like him. But the way the Washington Wizards have fallen in recent memory, Randy Whitman has got to get this team together. Some of the losing streaks that they've had, the way that they have been playing, it has been unimpressive. And if you know anything about Randy Whitman, the person, it's impossible to root against him because he's a really wonderful guy and knows basketball. But this team, they better get their act together because the Washington Wizards, you look like garbage half the time over the last few weeks. Get the damn thing together. I mean, enough's enough, okay? You're better than this. Having said all of that, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Chris Paul. Skip Bayless, if we're talking overall, meaning years worth of work, Chris Paul definitely gets the nod. But we're talking about this season. And this season, it's clearly a toss-up between Steph Curry and Russell Westbrook. A few weeks ago, I would have told you Steph Curry. Not only is it because he's the best shooter the game has ever seen off the dribble, and because of how fluid that and sweet that J is off the dribble. You have to pay attention to him, which means he opens the floor up for everybody else, which is creating opportunities for everybody else, which is the primary job and responsibility of a point guard. So I have to give Steph Curry that credit. The problem is, when I look at Russell Westbrook and what he has done, when I look at the athleticism this man possesses, when I look at how his assists, he's actually higher in assists, like 4th in the league compared to Steph Curry, okay? Doesn't shoot as well as Steph Curry, gets to the basket with relative ease, can elevate. Steph Curry ain't even in that discussion. This is Russell Westbrook we're talking about here. But the reason why I have no problem with Russell Westbrook getting the nod, even though, again, to me it's a pick'em, is because of 2 components. Number one, his competitive fervor is unmatched. It's unmatched. Nobody has a higher competitive fervor than Russell Westbrook. And number 2, Steph Curry does not defend like Russell Westbrook defends. If I'm thinking offense, regardless of how great Russell Westbrook has been, I still want Steph Curry because he's a marksman from long range, and he's more accurate from the field than Russell Westbrook is. So I want that. But if I'm taking basketball overall, that means offense and defense, I have to go with Russell Westbrook because he gives me an edge on both ends of the floor. His game is more complete than Steph Curry. Steph Curry, to me, I would just prefer him offensively. But Russell Westbrook is the more complete package as a basketball player.
By the way, Steph leads the league in steals, so let's give him that side.
Allen Iverson led the league in steals. Allen Iverson would be a steals leader, but Larry Brown would complain about his defense all the time.
I don't complain about Steph's defense ever because on a consistent night after night basis, I think he's a more consistent defender than Russell is. Russell, on a given night, when he takes a challenge like, oh, I got to shut D. Wade down in the 4th quarter, he can be really good defensively. Some nights his mind wanders on defense, which makes them a little vulnerable.
That's fair.
Okay, all right. Back to the list. You nailed my point. You said that the primary responsibility of a point guard is to
create opportunities for others.
Okay, thank you. We need 2 lists here, Jeff Goodman. We need a pass-first point guard list, and we need a shoot-first point guard list. This is my pet peeve on this show because I don't know what the definition of this role is, PG, point guard. Are we trying to find the most explosive scorer who calls himself a point guard? Because that's easily Russell Westbrook. He is leading the league in scoring. Now, Russell's assists have gone up, especially without Kevin Durant.
Right.
Since February 21st, without Durant, he's been averaging 11.4 assists per night. Why? He has become infatuated with this thing called triple-double. So he's like, oh, well, if I get 10 assists and then I get 10 boards, he only got 2 rebounds last night. I don't know. Is he
He's over
starting to-
triple doubles.
Yeah.
Give him
What's
credit
wrong
where
with
credit
Russell,
is
right?
due, though. A guy like
Okay.
Enes Kanter had
It
25 and
was
16.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I'm just saying,
That duo right now is becoming formidable in this league.
Even without that,
Yeah.
he was feeding Ibaka and Kanter
I know. I
and
get it.
Augustine and these boys. So.
Okay.